Hello, my name is Shiloh. This is my wife.
Danny, welcome to our channel.
This channel is for you. Yes, you, the amazing moms all around the world, juggling a million different things every single day, but still dreaming of a healthier lifestyle, happier life. This is for you.
Imagine having a place where you can come and get everything you've been looking for. Mindset, workouts, things that we deal with on the day-to-day, and help, support, and guidance in the things that we need.
Everything you can imagine and more. Here, you're not just joining any movement. You're joining a movement that is about empowering moms and changing lives around the world.
We know your journey has not always been easy, and it won't always be easy, but here we're gonna pack this community and channel with the value that you need to get yourself to the next.
And we're here with you every step of the way. This channel isn't just about fitness. It's gonna be about your mindset as well, because your mindset is gonna be the most important part that empowers you through everything you do in life, not just fitness, every aspect, right?
We'll share a little bit about our story and how the mindset piece has helped me and has changed my life. So I'm gonna start by telling you a little bit about my story. So I immigrated to the United States when I was 4 years old from Colombia. So growing up, I was very to myself, I was very quiet, introverted, and I just really felt out of place. I knew something was not 100% right, but I always knew that I was meant to accomplish big things. I came from a traditional family where we had hardworking parents, I had 2 siblings, and we had God, or what you would say religion, in the middle of our lives. At 14 years old, I met the person that would later become the father of my 2 biggest treasures, which are Nathan and Sebastian. What began as a friendship to escape my reality really became the story of my teenage years. Because of meeting this person, my youth was quickly accelerated into adulthood. So at the age of 17, I discovered that I was pregnant. It was something that really shook my world because I felt like I had let my family down. I couldn't imagine, breaking the news to my parents, mostly my dad, because I knew that he had come to this country to give me a better life, and that is not something that he wanted for me. I was in high school, I hadn't graduated yet, and I just felt like it was something that was going to completely change my life. And it did. So my pregnancy with my first son was filled with a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, a lot of not knowing what was going to happen. I didn't know where my life was going to go or what I was going to become, but I did know that I had this big responsibility in my hands, and I decided to never look back. But I am glad that I took my responsibility serious and that I was able to acknowledge the fact that I would be okay, that no matter what happened, I would just face it. So in the months to come, when I was 17 and after I had my first son, I discovered that my biological mother was actually in Colombia. It was just something that I never imagined, but it actually made sense. It made sense why growing up I felt out of place, maybe like I didn't really belong in the family that I was in, and just very to myself. Although I don't blame my parents for giving me the best life that they could, there were things that I yearned for as a young child or a young girl, which was that connection that I just never seemed to have. It was hurtful and it was painful, but at the same time, it just made me understand that everything that I had been through was going to teach me how to handle everything that was going to come in life. So that's just how I decided to look at it. I didn't really address the fact at the moment. I didn't really ask for explanations. All I knew was that everything had happened for a reason, and just being thankful for the life that I did have. My parents that raised me, I believe, had a reason to not tell me. But at the same time, now I would have to put my life together and really find out who I was. So during the dark times and while I was trying to figure out who I really was, I found a lot of peace and a lot of joy in knowing that my decision to be a present mom, to be a mom that even though I struggled, I was always there, gave me the peace to know that I was doing the right thing. And it's just something that I have been able to connect with other mothers, because at the end of the day, we do try our best because we have those humans that depend on us. After a couple years, I decided that I wanted to introduce another child into the world so my son would have a sibling. And there came my second son, Sebastian, and he was a completely different experience than my first child. This child was something that to me meant I could start over. It was a fresh start because it didn't come from a place of uncertainty, but that I actually wanted to have this child in that present moment. And I did have to go through some experience to be able to have him. Through the upcoming years and wanting to give my son a sibling, I went through a lot of health issues that would lead to miscarriage and having to rest and give my body some time so that I could have my second son. And I was very persistent because I wanted a different experience in motherhood when I got pregnant with my second son, Sebastian. And all I can say is that I did get that experience, but it was a roller coaster to get there. So both of my children were actually born premature. That is something that I went through with both of them. And although my circumstances were not perfect, I feel like it was a perfect time to bond with them and just to give them that extra attention that they needed. Now that I look back on those years, I do realize that most of the beginning of my motherhood was in survival mode. It was doing the things that I had to do to make sure that my family was good, that my children were well, that I was providing for them. And although I was, in this relationship where eventually I would get married to this person, it didn't really give me the stability and the mental peace that I needed to be really in the role that I was supposed to be as a mother, as a woman, and even as a wife. So in 2022, after many years and a lot of different situations, I decided to make the decision to end my 12-year relationship with the father of my kids. It was a difficult one because that's all I ever knew. This person is the person that I confided in as a young teenager. This is the person that I experienced motherhood and becoming a woman with. So it was something that was very difficult, and I knew that it was going to cause pain. I knew that it was going to hurt, but I knew that it was ultimately the best decision for me. And looking back, I do admire the courage and all the resilience that it took to get to the place where I was, to make that decision and to truly value myself enough to walk away. I do feel like I share that common experience as a mom, to stay in a marriage or stay in a relationship because of your children. And that is what I struggled the most with, because I wanted to provide my children with a family that was tight-knit and maybe not exactly what I grew up with, but to have a mother and a father figure in the house. So that was something that for me was very challenging to just let go of. But what I didn't know was that there was something even greater, even bigger, even more fulfilling that was coming. And that's when my husband now and I reconnected after many years. And we started our journey to really work on each other, work on our mindset, and just create something beautiful that was not anything that I ever expected. So our journey to realize that we were made for each other was what I would call a roller coaster. We went through a lot of emotions, a lot of getting to know more about ourselves, and a lot of healing, a lot of just new plans and new visions for our life that were things that we never could have imagined. Our passion for helping others and becoming the best version of ourselves was what really brought us together. We realized the impact that we could create in other people while also building ourselves up. And there was a time where he saw potential in me that I didn't see in myself. He brought out a lot of those values that were not seen in the past or were not something that I could even see in myself. So when I was able to build up all this confidence, all this, emotional stability, because that's what he was able to give me, I was able to realize that my story and the stories of so many other women could really make a difference. And especially as a woman and as a mother, we are the ones that create the difference in the world. So when we started thinking about how we wanted to impact the world, we knew that we had to target mothers, because there is so many things that we go through, and if we could change the mindset of the woman to really value herself and see herself in the role that she carries, then we can impact the whole world. And honestly, it was something that came to us from the very beginning. It was natural, and through my personal journey in fitness, getting personal development and working my mindset, I was able to completely transform my life. And I know that any woman has the ability to do that as well. Our mission now is to build a community where women, specifically mothers, feel empowered. They feel like they have the resources, the ability, the support, and everything they need to get to where they need to be. And a lot of those things are going to come with how you feel, the way that you think, and the tools and resources that you have to get yourself to the next level. So that was a little bit about my story, and I'll let Shiloh, my husband, tell you a little bit about his.
So, that was very powerful. Even just the fact you shared all of that. I know very few people at all outside of me know any of those things. So, definitely want to say, I know that was a lot to put out there, and I know a lot of them appreciate it as well. I know I appreciate just your strength as always. So to tell you a little bit about me, like I said, my name is Shiloh. I grew up in a good home. My dad was a preacher. My mom managed the daycare, and they had a women's and children's shelter. And from young, I've seen mothers of all different backgrounds, kids of those mothers from all backgrounds having a hard time in life, and the different things my family would do to build them up to get them to a better level. So it's just crazy, really, until this video, I didn't really think about how it's so full circle to be doing the exact same thing in a different way. So from young, I always had that deep desire to want to help people, and that's where it started. When I was around 5 years old, I had a older sister named Valencia, and we went on a trip with the family to Myrtle Beach. And without going crazy in detail, long story short, she was getting ready in the bathroom, and she starts walking towards me, and she just passes out on the floor. And immediately I thought she was playing. I rushed to the other room like, hey, mom, dad, my sister won't get up, right? Long story short, my mind flashes to when the paramedics came and they put the defibrillators on her. And I remember her eyes opening up and getting so happy, like, wow, she's okay. And then watching her eyes close. So from that moment, I didn't realize until way later on in my life that I took that moment from my childhood and I pushed that forward to the rest of my life, where I internalized it in a way that if anybody I love so much can be taken away in the blink of an eye, why should I get close to anyone? Why should I let anyone get that close to me because I could possibly lose again? So I took that fear of being hurt and took that into the rest of my life. I went from crying for 3 months straight, almost every single day, to barely remembering the last time I cried. And it's crazy how a lot of the times we can live an event over and over and over, and we think we're living different parts of our life, but really we're living the same past experience over and over. So the older I got, I really just wanted to make a difference, right? I dedicated my life to over 12 years of training people to get them to where they want to be in life. I've seen people's confidence grow, their income grow, their overall mindset grow, and so many other areas in life. And the people I realized that I was impacting the most and made the greatest change was mothers. And it's crazy, like I said, it all came full circle. So at that point, I realized how powerful it was, but then I was like, I'm actually robbing millions of mothers around the world by only focusing on the people I could talk to in person. So really, that's how a lot of this came about. Like, it wasn't enough impact to be able to do what we really should be doing for everybody versus just people that are around us locally. Life has a funny way of showing you and making you aware of what's really going on. God gave me a really big eye-opener earlier this year when basically my boss at work, he said, today's your last day. I'm gonna let you go, right? And it wasn't even a financial shock. It was more of a, why are you not really living in your passion? Why are you not really living in your purpose and doing the things that you really love to do? I still work at that job right now. It was honestly a bunch of misunderstandings and things he thought was going on that really wasn't going on. So I'm still there, but really it just ignited a fire in me to say, it's time to really move forward on the things I love, the things we love, the things we want to bring to everybody else. So, I think a lot of time we live life in a way where it's like, oh, we got all the time in the world to do this. We got all the time in the world to do that versus let's take action now. All the time we let go by, we're actually robbing others of changing their life at a sooner rate. So that really was a spark to say, these are things we were thinking about doing a long time ago, but it's like, what are we waiting on? We're helping people here all the time. Why not spread it out to other people so they can have the same experience as well? Like I told you in the beginning, I hit a phase in my life where after that moment at a very young age, I grew up very fast after that. I felt like everything fast tracked. I got older, my mindset quicker, the way I looked at situations a lot different. And it wasn't until I met my now beautiful wife that I ever loved anyone. Outside of my mom and dad, I really never loved anyone until her. So it just sparked this passion to say, there's so many great things we need to do together, and our visions align when it came to who we wanted to help and who we wanted to give all the value to. So now we're here sharing our story, vulnerable things that we have not shared with anyone outside of you guys basically at this point in our immediate family, because you guys are family for us now too. So we felt like it was the perfect way to say, hey, we're pouring our heart out to you guys. And you guys can do the same. This community is for us all to grow, us all to get better, all to level up. This isn't just you guys leveling up. We're leveling up, and you'll get to see our journey from here now moving forward on top of what we've already accomplished.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't realize that the people that we keep around us, if they have the same energy, the same willingness, the same drive, the same passion to get ahead in life, it'll put us in a better place. So we want to bring the mothers that really want to make a difference in their life so that we can all build a community where we help each other and so much more. There's so much out there to go and get, but we need to have the right resources, and I feel like this is a place where we can all network, we can bring those resources together, we can be there for the everyday challenges that mothers go through, and we can also have somebody that comes from a perspective of a man and how he sees things, because sometimes as women, we need to know what are those things that really matter to get us to where we need to be, and how men really think and see us, what light they see us. So I feel like we're gonna get so many different variations of value here that we know that it's gonna be something that could transform your life, but aside from that, can change the path of your life, your family's life, your kids' life, and the generations that we are going to see to come.
Mothers touch everyone in the world. You touch your kids, you're touching the fathers who also go out into the workplace, you affect other people when you're in the workplace, and all of those different seeds, even the teachers, and so many other things that pour into the world. So this is not going to be changed. This isn't just some small community. I'm telling you right now, this is going to change the world. We're going to change the world together. So we want to welcome you guys to New Birth Fitness. We're here together. Let's level up. Love you guys. Talk to you later.